Many people ask about street outreach. They want to know what it looks like. And you know what? That is a really good question. For many years now, No Boundaries International has specialized in reaching out to those in hard places, and that includes victims of sex trafficking. And we engage with them right where they are, on the streets. And so now for over 12 years, we've gathered gently used purses and we've filled them with things that they would need, like snacks or hygiene products or cosmetics or basic supplies. And we've loaded those purses into our brightly colored outreach car. And every week out our teams go, and they go into our designated area, the 73109 outreach area, as they cruise the streets that are filled with illegal activity, just simply to offer a gift. And that gift creates a bridge for trusting, building conversations. So our goal is simply to just love them and to connect with them so that we can take them into deeper relationships. And so on the surface, these activities, they may seem trivial, but we know, and we've heard so many stories from those that we've had encountered who have actually gotten out of sex trafficking, that these weekly encounters are life-altering and really the starting point to a changed life. So right now, I want to read to you a report from our outreach director as they went out on the streets just recently. And I want to share a few of the encounters that happened in a typical 2-hour street outreach with them. And so she's talking about her and our volunteers. She said, "We packed up the car with the supplies and quickly left our Firehouse Community Center to go to the nearest gas station where we saw Joyce. We knew that she was in the midst of trafficking, but she was open to having a short conversation where we gave her a purse. Nearby was Kylie, who is another trafficked woman, who was mean and attempted to slap me without warning. But I dodged her hand. I backed up just out of reach. And then I spoke a little bit more firmly with her and I offered her snacks, which she gladly took. Maybe a little kindness would change her demeanor." And so the journey continued to a low-end motel where sex trafficking and drug dealing occurs on a regular basis. We were surprised when we saw Jessica because the last time we had seen her, she was not doing well. And we actually had to call the authorities for a wellness check to see if she needed hospitalization. And right next to her was Brandy and a young man named James. Both seemed to be under the influence of fentanyl. It was heartbreaking to watch. Brandy came to the car where she was overcome with emotion as she received a gift purse from us, and she hugged us tightly and began to cry. We comforted her and convinced both of them to drink water to ward off the intense summer heat. We said goodbye to them and returned to Robinson, the area in which we met up with Lisa, an addicted and trafficked woman that we have known for years. I remember all of the times that she had been offered treatment, but she refused to get the needed help. But this time, something was different. She actually said that she had a court date coming up very soon and was hoping that she would be able to get into a treatment program. Wow. Back to the car we went, and we found another sketchy motel to visit. At first, no one was out in the parking lot, so we simply drove around the parking lot in hopes that our logo-wrapped car would be seen through the motel windows. And sure enough, bingo, it worked. At least 6 women and their pimp controllers came out to talk with us. We gave out gifts and water to all and initiated conversations with them, planting those seeds of connection again. Back into the car we went, and then we drove off. And finally, we ran into Rachel, who is currently homeless and sadly dying of stage 4 breast cancer. I let her know that her medical prescription was ready for pickup and that I would make an appointment to advocate for her to get housing where hospice could come and be with her during her last stages of life. It was a hard conversation, but we tried to encourage her even in the middle of this difficult circumstance. When we got back into the car to go, the volunteer and I acknowledged that even though it was a challenging night, it's hard to see so many suffering. We left everyone there better than when we found them. And that, for us, that was the goal. And that had to be the really good thing. It was a really good night. So my question to you is, how will you shed some light on human trafficking? And if we don't, then who will?